Hello, it is Monday night. I am getting in from work. It's been snowing on and off today, so it's been all nice and white and wintry. And I actually ended up having a pretty busy night at the restaurant, considering it was the day after Christmas and it snowed here. And like in Nashville, like we don't really have like ice, like amenities or like salt trucks and things to go take care of the roads and make everything like easy to travel and everything again. So it's like the fact that people were getting out and about was very exciting. Very exciting. My friend at work said that she was on the interstate today and she like hit an icy patch and did a full 360 donut in like slow-mo and was like watching all the cars. She was like, there was not anybody on the road, so there was plenty of room, but she did like a whole spin. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot imagine the terror. So yeah, nobody goes out and does anything if they don't have to when it snows here, because it's just like, it's chaos. But yeah, we had quite a crowd, so I'm pretty tired. I'm excited for my days off. I work tomorrow night, and then I have a couple of days off to just veg out. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the last couple of months have been crazy. Just, I don't know, maybe even since October. I feel like since October, I've felt like I'm just on fast forward. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of quiet time, but y'all, if I'm honest, I don't know if we're going to get a lot of quiet time. Like, I feel like things are going to feel a little bit busy right off the bat in 2023. I feel like it might take us a minute to feel like we're seeing progress for our efforts, but I feel like there's going to be a lot to do right away. Like, I don't think there's gonna be like that weird lull where you're just like, first, a few weeks it's just like quiet, nothing's going on. Like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like there's a buzz building already, like the energy is in the air. So anyway, we're here for our extended reading from this morning's anchor message that I posted on Instagram. You can follow me there at Liz_Taylor_magic. And on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I write up a post in the morning, and then that's what we talk about in an extended fashion on Monday, Wednesday, Friday night. So our cards they followed right along with our energy weekly forecast that I posted on Sunday night. So the last video, you could go back and watch that and get the kind of themes for the week that are shaping up. But it's really exciting energy. I feel like the universe got us in this moment where I just had a visual of like a competitive diver climbing up the ladder and walking out to the high dive, and they're walking to the end of the board and they're getting centered and they are thinking about the move that they're about to execute. And if they can take themselves through it mentally as they've been practicing it, and they can stay clear and calm and focused and surrendered and fearless, then they can let go and take the dive and execute it perfectly with perfect form. No splash, right? So I feel like ending the year with this Capricorn new moon energy that's really like, it's going to affect the whole moon cycle, the whole month. It's giving us this surge of a desire for structure, for discipline, for routine, for productivity, for efficiency, for the fruits of the labor, for your efforts to be fruitful, Capricorns are really industrious, and they're really great at like creating a plan and envisioning it and breaking it down step by step and then taking action and executing it. They're just great at getting shit done. And so we need to harness that energy right now and really set our vision for the year ahead, and we need to get that in alignment with like the vision that has been coming through in our heart for 2022. It's like, I don't think any of this is going to be a new surprise or out of nowhere. I think we're all like in the thick of it, and I think that the themes are in front of us, and we've been working with this all year, and the goals and the manifestations that we're setting out to attain for 2023. I believe that we're building and expanding on what we've been working on through 2022. A little notification. So this is a good time to use to reflect. Now, specifically for this week, our archetypes were the shaman, followed by the pilgrim, followed by Kairos, and then underneath that, we had death, we had temperance, and we had Ace of Swords. So this is like huge major arcana energy, right? Let's unpack. So the shaman. The shaman is, I feel like, who we are in this moment. It's like up until now, like we've gone through all of these experiences throughout our life. We have gained different perspectives. We have wisdom, we have knowledge, but we've been searching and seeking as a spiritual student, as a philosopher, as a person who's looking for healing, for a person who wants to tap into the depths of their soul and transmute and do that spiritual alchemy. Well, the shaman has this particular role in their community that they don't just do this for themselves, but as they heal themselves, they also are the healer for other people and a teacher for others. And so many times the shaman of the family, they say that the shaman is the Death Eater. And what that means is that the shaman transmutes the energy of those around them and of their own environment, even when it's not even intentional or beknownst to them. It's like there's something in them, like a power, a mystical power that is like a filter for negativity. And the death eating is like you're eating that darkness and you're transmuting it into light. Another way that manifests is that you can help people by taking them on a journey into their own shadows to face those, dark parts of themselves and help them understand those and reintegrate those fragments and embrace them and heal them and call them back from other dimensions. But also the shaman, part of being the Death Eater is that you break curses in your family and you stop those generational patterns. You heal them. Even if maybe you can't convince the other members of your family to like heal those patterns too, it doesn't matter because you are a person within that generation that is breaking them on behalf of everyone and you're putting a stop to them. So if you find that, and if you're watching this video, it's like you might be this person in your community. Regardless of whether you usually are in a grander sense, you're gonna feel an affinity with this archetype this week. So it's like the shaman is like part magician, part philosopher, part healer. They're really good at like, they're prophets. Like they have an ability to receive visions and understand what those visions mean and interpret dreams, for instance. But the shamans are also good at like multidimensional travel, and they can move through the astral realms with greater ease. And maybe they have a certain knack for telepathy, even if you don't realize it. Maybe you're more telepathic than you know, or it's just you second guess it or whatever, you think it's your imagination. So the shaman is about, I think in this context, because death was underneath it, it's about really like leaning in to this transformation as we end the year, leaving all of that darkness and negativity behind, all the stuff that's ready to die away. We're ready. We're ready to move forward into this new start. And we don't need to be wallowing in the process longer than necessary, because we need to start getting focused and taking action and moving forward. So we need to wrap things up. We need to cut old cords. We need to be decisive in letting the past be the past and being like making up our mind to move forward. And to, you know what, my one of my Kabbalah teachers, he said something so genius today. It was perfect to tie into this. I saw a video clip. His name's Marcus Weston. He said today, it was what was the quote? He said, get out of the story and into the message. Meaning that if you take responsibility for everything that's happening in your life, whether it's justified or unjustified, fair or unfair, deserved or undeserved, whatever, if you pretend like it was sent to you from the Creator and it's serving a purpose, or there's a reason that it is happening to you, or for some reason you have played a part in this happening, if you take everything that happens to you from that angle and you try to turn it into an opportunity to correct weakness, shadow, darkness in yourself, right? Then it's always working for you. No matter what is happening, no matter what is playing out, you're turning every situation that can have darkness and you're turning it around to reveal more light. So we need to allow the transformation to happen and embrace that part of ourselves and start bringing that sacred practice, instead of saying, oh, I can't like focus on moving my vision forward because I'm still going through all of this process of healing. The pilgrim, the assignment or the requirement of the pilgrim is to bring the sacred, the mystical, the holy into the mundane life. Because the pilgrim, in order to be like truly spiritual, you're not only needing to elevate within your interior realm, you also need to make sure that your external realm is functional and balanced and thriving, right? And prosperous. So bring a sense of purpose into your daily routine, into your life. Bring a sense of like ritual and devotion to just even the mundane things. If you put your heart and soul, it's like when you start executing the vision and we talk about the creation phases 1, 2, 3, and 4, there comes a point where you get in a lull in like creation phase 2, where you're like in like 2 and 3, where you keep putting forth all this effort, but like the honeymoon phase is over and you're like, oh, okay, now it's just become where you were like super like motivated and inspired and like excited about like putting in the extra effort. You just sort of like get into like, you take it for granted. It's starting to become mundane and it starts to get boring and you start to lose your passion because you start to like become disconnected from your initial sense of purpose and your why and your reason why. So if you can make it your devotion, your like sacred spiritual practice to bring the sacredness with you in throughout your day. Don't just leave it in your morning ritual. Don't leave it for evening, but like have your life be a moving prayer, a moving expression of the way that your soul wants to express itself in this opportunity that we call life, this opportunity that your soul gets to interact with this physical material realm. It's precious, it's finite. We don't get endless time in the material realm. And once we're not material, we can't do anything in the material, right? We can't transmute darkness into light. We can't make the world a better place once we're gone. So we have to do it now. And so that's why it's like it's important to, even in the mundane moments, to bring reverence to that, to bring a sense of purpose in it, right? Because it'll keep you connected to your vision. It'll keep you devoted. It'll keep you consistent and committed and on track, right? And so underneath the Pilgrim, we have temperance. And that is, again, about balancing this inner world and the external world, right? To be truly spiritual, you know, it's not just about having this tranquility on the inside, but your external world needs to reflect that too. And so it's like, it's about having your literal shit together. Like, just get your shit together. You know, if you are, if like things in your physical material like kingdom need tending to, then it's okay to put some of the other spiritual stuff aside for a minute and get caught up in your external realm. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, neither one needs to be neglected. So it's good to do both. Also, the Temperance card talks about slow and steady wins the race, right? Don't go in all guns blazing. Just take it easy. Ease in, right? Go a little bit at a time. And that's what we've been talking about too recently with the Capricorn energy. It's about taking those slow, intentional, methodical steps. Don't rush. You know, don't feel like you have to like cram it all in and pile it all on. You're better off to just get achievable landmarks and goals going, and it take little doable steps. Like we were talking about yesterday, you can always take just one more step. You're unstoppable if you only need to just take one more step. You can always push through and take one more step. So just slow and steady wins the race. Take it easy, and then do try to maintain and like cultivate and maintain a sense of balance. And also, not just balance, but temperance is about integrating different parts and pieces and mixing things together. And so I think another thing that what this message is saying is that all of this transformation, all of this wisdom, all of this spiritual insight and experience and all of this devotion we've built up, it's like we need to take all of this and use it and apply it to what we're doing now, right? This is this new life that we get a chance to actually create, like a new life for ourselves, and be the people who we like, our highest version of ourselves in our imagination. Like, we can be that person. We can create that life. We can build that life. We can even just build ourselves a life that we like better or that we have more fun in. It doesn't have to be so much pressure, but we can have a different version of the life that we've had so far. We can have a different experience of it, a different perception of it. We can recreate, reinvent. So it's like, okay, now that we have we've done so much work on ourselves. We've done so much emotional healing. We've done so much work to become more disciplined and just better and more functional people, right? So it's like, okay, now that we are better at life, better at, we're more spiritual, we're more conscious, we're more elevated. Now, what do we want to create? What kind of, what do we dream of? How do we want to live? And we need to slow down enough to where we can take each day slow enough to where we can consciously choose the way that we're showing up the kind of person that we're presenting, how we respond to life, right? And if that means that you don't need to answer someone right away, then give yourself permission and be relaxed about giving yourself time and space, right, to breathe, so that you don't overcommit or jump to fix a situation and make a messy mistake, or, you know, take an action because you're in a state of fear or anxiety and you end up making a decision that doesn't really pay off because it was based in scarcity, right? So, you know, there could be all kinds of different examples there, but just take your time. Choose with consciousness, choose with your free will, be a conscious co-creator of your reality. And we have Ace of Swords under Kairos. Kairos is about divine timing. And I believe that the more that we are in alignment with our soul's desire, and we align ourselves, heart, mind, soul, body, and strength, and we take aligned action, and we get clear on anything inside that had been conflicting, I think that the more clarity we have, and the more certain we are, and the more that we start surrendering to the divine direction that we're being given, the more we answer the call, the more we act with wisdom, you know, in integrity and in alignment with the messages coming through and the guidance coming through from our heart. I think the more that we're going to find ourselves in harmony with this divine timing, with this divine flow, and things will just line up, and all of a sudden it's like life will start becoming very miraculous, very, very magical. The shaman is a magician. They live in a state of miracles and magic unfolding all the time. The veil is very thin. They have a talent for opening up like other dimensions and portals, and being able to work with the elements and the different energies, right? It's just like a knack that they have. So the more we trust divine, trust the process, and the more that we're willing to put ourselves out there and to try to move beyond our old ways, to try to push ourselves out of our comfort zone from what comes just easily and naturally, but maybe isn't getting us to where we want to go, the more we overcome those things, then the more that we're going to open ourselves up to blessings and miracles, and the more that we're going to be magnetic, right? And we're going to have affinity with the light, so we're going to be able to attract and attain and sustain that light, right? It's called building the vessel. So we had, let's just review. We had shaman and death. So it's all about the metaphysical transformation and the spiritual alchemy of turning that darkness into light. We are reintegrating the shadow parts of ourselves and tying up loose ends, cutting cords, and calling back our power so that we are feeling, or that we're conscious of the fact that we're already whole and complete, right? But also, we've been doing the process of soul retrieval, right? In this healing, in this like soul work, and in the cocoon, and the soul correction, right? We take these fragmented parts of ourselves, the parts that have been rejected, the parts of us that have been lost, you know? Think about, I don't know, things that you went through that were terrible upsets and maybe terrifying experiences or heartbreaks. And it feels like a part of you was left in that time and place, you know? And in a way it was. And so it's about calling all of those pieces back, knowing that they haven't gone anywhere, that they are all still here, but we're healing like almost like the paradox of time that has been ripped. Like our soul has just been like scattered in these different directions. It's almost like, you know in Harry Potter how a Horcrux is like an object that you can like take your soul and split it into different pieces and put it in these Horcruxes. so that you can save pieces of yourself and you're immortal. It's almost like emotional horcruxes that happened by accident. And we're on a search to gather those up, right? So that we're no longer spread apart, at least in our consciousness, right? We're reintegrating. With the Pilgrim, we're bringing this process into our day-to-day lives. We're not holding ourselves back from moving forward. We're taking action, but we're creating a space of reverence within the mundane. And we're staying connected to our purpose and our greater why. And so that gives us passion and purpose and reason. I just realized that I found a couple of cards that had fallen from yesterday. And then finally, I think that the clearer that we are in our inner mental landscape, and the more certain we are, and the more trust and the confidence that we have in spirit to just trust the timing, to listen to that voice within when it says, all right, now go, then you go. When that voice within is saying, yeah, meander, not time yet, stall, wait, pause. The more that we can trust that inner voice, the more clarity, the more oh my gosh, we'll have these download moments and these moments of truth and these moments of awakening. And we will find ourselves in perfect harmony and flow with Kairos, with divine timing. And we'll know the more certain we are, the more certain we are, because the more certain we are, the more harmonious things are, because we're in affinity with the light, and then we're in alignment with our highest good. So it's the more certain that we are that we're being held and guided by the Creator, the more we experience things that reflect the fact that we're secure and guided and stable and protected and held by the Creator. So, all right, you guys, I am tired. I'm out of steam. And tomorrow I will have my last work day for the week, and then I can veg out and just chill for a couple of days. So excited. All right, y'all, take care. Good night.